Mbappe is once again the villain of world football, whilst further shocking details have emerged following Alonso's Madrid demise. Kante is set to return to Europe, and is the game officially gone following this subjective offside ruling? This is DMAC Daily. 9 managers in 10 seasons. That is the reality of Kylian Mbappe's professional club career today. Xabi Alonso is simply the latest name on a list that has grown unusually long for a player of Mbappe's stature. And while Alonso's dismissal at Real Madrid reopened the conversation, the deeper issue stretches far beyond one coach or even one club. Granted, in isolation, Alonso's departure wasn't all that surprising. Real Madrid are ruthless after all. Results dipped, the squad fractured, so Papa Perez said, "See you later." But the video footage that circulated of Mbappe pulling rank in the Supercopa final defeat was damning. It reinforced this narrative that Mbappe's individual brilliance comes at the cost of an inflated sense of self-worth that inevitably destabilizes his club. Back in 2024, Joan Laporta was highly critical of Mbappe prior to his Madrid arrival, saying, "I don't envy Real Madrid signing Kylian Mbappe. He will distort their locker room." Now, whilst his comments are to be taken with a grain of salt, I mean, this is the Barca president we're talking about here. The reality is that since 2017, when Mbappe made the mega move to PSG, the Frenchman has since averaged a new coach every 1.4 years. Projects were launched and then swiftly abandoned. Coaches arrived with authority and ideas, only to find themselves navigating a hierarchy in which Mbappe was not merely a player, but an institutional pillar. Then Luis Enrique arrived at PSG, a proven winner who had previously managed one of the greatest teams in modern football history, including prime Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. My guy knew a thing or two about how to manage egos. So when working with Mbappe, Enrique's demands were absolute. Pressing was non-negotiable, defensive work was required, status did not grant exemption. Now, Mbappe delivered prolific goals and assist numbers as he always does, but he never fully bought into Enrique's off-ball demands. There was never a boiling point between the pair, but on multiple occasions, Enrique publicly criticized Mbappe's work ethic. His system was designed to function without exemptions, not to accommodate one. This point became abundantly clear when Mbappe finally then made the move to Madrid. You'd think PSG losing their best player, their all-time leading goal scorer, would see the club's performances naturally decline. But Enrique remained and was able to then successfully implement his philosophy without any caveats. As a result, the team became more cohesive and extraordinary success followed. PSG went on to win the sextuple, which included the illustrious Champions League title for the first time in the club's history. Even more tellingly, Ousmane Dembele, a player with, in my opinion, nowhere near Mbappe's raw talent, flourished within that framework and ultimately won himself the Ballon d'Or. He fully bought into Enrique's ideas and achieved what Mbappe hasn't been able to accomplish in his entire career. As to Mbappe at Madrid, the cycle repeats itself. Alonso is sacked, 3 managers for Mbappe in 19 months. There lies the contrast of Mbappe's legacy. A supremely gifted individual, but at club level, he hasn't lived up to his generational potential. All the while, a managerial merry-go-round has ensued. I often look at the 2 greatest players of our era, and they largely had managerial stability throughout their careers. Messi at Barca played under 8 managers in 17 seasons, seeing sustained success under Rijkaard, Guardiola, Villanova, Enrique, and Valverde. Similarly with CR7, Sir Alex Ferguson shaped him over 6 seasons at United. Then at Madrid, Ronaldo thrived under Mourinho, Ancelotti, and Zidane. Mbappe has never experienced that environment at club level. Now, some people may think it's ludicrous for me to even compare the GOAT's careers to Mbappe's, and I get it. Those two are otherworldly greats. But I think Mbappe's ability is truly special. I mean, he's a World Cup winner. He became the youngest player since Pelé to score in a World Cup final and then backed it up with a hat-trick in 2022. Individually, Mbappe's career remains outstanding. His international legacy is already secured, but at the club level, the story lacks continuity. No Champions League titles, no long-term partnership with a manager who survives long enough to shape and refine him fully. Many view Mbappe as someone who has been spectacular within the chaos that surrounds him. Others, however, see it very differently. They believe he is the chaos. He is the problem. Until this pattern changes, that critique will always be there. Staying on the topic of controversy within Real Madrid, and further details have emerged regarding the recent sacking of Xabi Alonso and the internal dynamics which led to this decision. What we all know now is that Alonso struggled to maintain authority within the dressing room. That much is clear. At Real Madrid, power does not flow from the dugout. It flows downward from the president's box and outward from the dressing room's most influential figures. Alonso arrived with a mandate from Florentino Perez to implement a more structured and modern approach, but by October, the players had become fed up with Alonso's rigid structure as opposed to the freedom they previously had under Ancelotti. Then the Vini Jr. El Clasico spat happened. Although Madrid won the match, the incident proved pivotal. Days later, Vinicius apologized to teammates and met club president Florentino Perez, but notably avoided naming Alonso in his public apology. The club's decision not to fine him was widely interpreted internally as the moment Alonso began to lose the dressing room. The squad became split. Players such as Kylian Mbappe, Aurelien Tchouameni, Arda Güler, Denis Ceballos, and Raul Asensio apparently supported Alonso and later defended him publicly. Others, including Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Federico Valverde, were unconvinced by Alonso's methods, feeling constrained by his tactical demands. Now, this is interesting because Mbappe has come under fire for that footage in the Supercoppa, but he was actually one of Alonso's main supporters throughout. Meanwhile, Jude Bellingham, who spoke in support of the manager and released a statement of solidarity following his sacking, was apparently against him. He denies this reporting, but I don't know what to think. Anyways, back to the timeline, and results initially masked the unrest, right? By early November, Madrid had won 13 of their first 14 matches and were 5 points clear at the top of La Liga. But performances soon deteriorated. Over the next 7 games, Madrid won just twice, suffering defeats to Liverpool, Celta Vigo, and drawing several league fixtures. Alonso then made concessions, reducing video analysis and adjusting training routines, but concerns about morale persisted. One of the most revealing moments came not in defeat, but in survival. In a Copa del Rey tie away to third-tier Talavera, Madrid were pushed to the brink before edging a chaotic 3-2 win thanks to a late Andre Lunin save. During the match, cameras caught Madrid substitutes laughing on the bench as Talavera mounted their comeback. For many inside the club, it symbolized a squad no longer fully aligned with its managers. Political tensions then compounded the decline. Alonso clashed with senior figures over recruitment, fitness management, and injuries, sidelining long-time Perez ally Antonio Pintus from daily training duties. Public comments about monitoring the transfer market further irritated the hierarchy. Then, following the Supercoppa defeat plus the Guard of Honor debacle, Alonso was informed that his time was up, despite the club later framing it as a mutual agreement. Arbeloa now steps in, a figure Madrid's hierarchy see as a loyal servant to the club and one that has the potential to succeed at an elite level. It's hard to predict what comes next, but one thing we can all agree on is that managing this club is a different beast. It goes so far beyond philosophy or tactics. Anyways, that's enough Madrid talk for today. We shift our gears to transfer news, and N'Golo Kante, my French goat, is inching closer to a European return, with Turkish league leaders Fenerbahce leading the race. According to both Fabrizio Romano and The Athletic, a deal is on the horizon with the Frenchman keen on the move. The only thing holding up a deal is Al Ittihad. They want to receive a fee rather than letting him leave for free. Speaking of Saudi players departing, Joao Cancelo is officially a Barcelona player once more, joining the club on loan for the remainder of the season, a huge boost for the Blaugrana. Meanwhile, Giacomo Raspadori is heading to Atalanta for 23 million euros, just 6 months after joining Atletico Madrid for 22 mil. Leeds outcast Jack Harrison is heading on loan to Fiorentina with a 10 mil euro option to buy, and Brentford may have secured their next great striker, signing 18-year-old Kai Fiore from Club Brugge for 10 mil. Curious to see how that one pans out, because this club has an incredible track record when it comes to securing strikers for low fees, gradually turning them into goal-scoring machines, and then selling for ludicrous profit. Staying in England, and Manchester City are one step closer to the EFL Cup final at Wembley, securing a massive 2-0 victory away at Newcastle in the semis' first leg. Antoine Semenyo, the hero, once again opening the scoring before an incisive team move in added time. Ryan found Ryan Cherki, who made no mistake. City with a seismic display, although they'll feel slightly aggrieved at an absurd VAR ruling to disallow Semenyo from scoring a second goal. A 6-minute delay followed before the referee confirmed a subjective offside decision. No technology to confirm his suspicions, just vibes, I guess. I'm not anti-tech in the game, but if it takes you 6 minutes to look at a screen in slow-mo, then it's not clear and obvious. The initial decision should surely stand there. It only undermines the very real need for tech in the game. It's a terrible look for VAR. In other notable fixtures, Roma fall short to Torino in the Coppa Italia, but this match saw a remarkable debut take place with Torino leading 2-1. 16-year-old Australian-born Antonio Arena would make his senior debut, and in his first touch as a pro, scored the equaliser with the back post header. That is the stuff of dreams right there. Tony Popovic, are you watching? Get this kid in a Socceroos journey ASAP before it's too late. In the Bundesliga, Dortmund secured a comfortable 3-0 win at home to reduce Bayern's lead at the top to 8 points, and Stuttgart rise up to 3rd in the table following a huge win at home to Eintracht Frankfurt. Nicolas Nate with the late winner off the bench. Anyways guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. I'll see you tomorrow.